Hey, Jeffrey Pepper Rogers here for acoustic guitar with a lesson on breaking up chords, how to spotlight chord embellishments by playing across chord shapes. So this is a continuation of a series on chord embellishment basics. So in this series, I've been exploring ways to add or change notes in open chord shapes to vary the sound. And we've been working these embellishments into strum patterns and bass strum patterns, like boom chick kind of thing, really using block chords like that to strum with. So in this lesson, what we're going to do is break those block strums up into smaller units by playing more single notes or a few strings at a time. Playing across chord shapes like this is a great way to lighten up your accompaniment and create a kind of fingerstyle sound, even if you're playing a pick like I am right now. And it works beautifully with the kinds of embellishments that we've been working on in this series. Essentially, by reducing the chords and focusing more on individual notes, you can spotlight the embellishments to the point where they start to sound like distinct riffs. So that is where we are going to head in this lesson. So let's get started. The core technique that I'm using here is a type of cross-picking. That term has a specific meaning in bluegrass for playing banjo-esque rolling patterns, typically on groups of 3 strings. But in this lesson, I'm going to apply cross-picking as a more general technique that really works in any style. So let me show you what I mean. So here's a bass strum pattern on a G with a little hammer-on added on the 5th string. 1, 2, 3, 4. So bass, strum, hammer on the 5th string, and another strum, all downstrokes. Now let's take that and break up the G chord on the last beat. We're going to replace the quarter note, the last strum, with 2 eighth notes. So for the eighth notes, I'm going to use alternating picking, down and up. So here's what that sounds like. 1, 2, 3, 4. So on those 4th and 3rd strings, I'm going down on the 4th string, up on the 3rd. Now let's also replace the first strum in that example I started with, replace that with eighth notes as well. So now we're using all single notes like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. So here's what those 3 patterns sound like all together. First with strums on 2 and 4, the second time with the strum on beat 4 replaced with 2 eighth notes, and then the third measure with all single notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. So as you can see, I'm holding this G shape the whole time, except for when I need to lift my finger up to do the hammer-on, and let the strings ring as much as possible. Now let's play some similar cross-picking patterns on C, D, A minor, and E minor chord shapes. So for each chord, first I'm going to do a bass strum, bass, and then 2 eighth notes. And then in the following measure, I'm going to play it with all single notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's the pattern on a D chord. This time I'm going to be hammering onto the third string. 1, 2, 3, 4. On an A minor. 1, 2, 3, 4. And E minor. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's string a few of these cross-picking patterns together in a short progression that starts on A minor. 1, 2, 3, 4. You notice how the cross-picking really focuses the sound. The hammer-on embellishments aren't overshadowed by strums and they stand out more. So next let's apply this cross-picking approach to some sus and add embellishments. So here I'm going to use a hammer-on to play a sus4 embellishment on C, G, and E. So for each of those chords, I'm going to hold down the shape and add the sus4 with my pinky. So starting off on a C, I'm going to play each measure twice. 1, 2, 3, 4. On the G, 1, 2, 3, 4. On E, 1, 2, 3, 4. Here are a couple of sus2 embellishments on an A chord shape. So fret your A with 3 fingers, and whatever fingering is comfortable for you, rather than using a bar, so it makes it easy to lift up and play the second string open. I'm going to play each measure twice here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the second measure, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now here's some sus2 and sus4 embellishments on a D shape. So if you play these embellishments with single notes, they create nice little melodic phrases. Again, one measure at a time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Second measure, 1, 2, 3, 4. Third measure, 1, 2, 3, 4. And fourth measure, 1, 2, 3, 4. That last one is a pull off and then a hammer on. A and D embellishments, like the ones we've just been doing, are integral to James Taylor's signature sound and his songwriting. So check out this next example, and you'll hear it's reminiscent of embellishments he uses in songs like Country Road and Fire and Rain. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4 again. Now let's try some embellishments with the 6, the flat 7, and the flat 3. This first one is an embellishment where you got a hammer-on onto the 6 of the chord. It's a classic sound heard in all kinds of rock, blues, country songs. So first I'm going to play the embellishment, the hammer-on, with single notes, and then as a double stop, so 2 notes at the same time, adding in another string. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's try a similar embellishment on C, D, and A, hammering onto the 6th of each chord. So notice that for the D and the A, I'm using a bar fingering with my index, making a bar, so that my ring finger is free to hammer on to the 6th. So here's the C first. 1, 2, 3, 4. And on the D, 1, 2, 3, 4. And on the A, again using a bar. 1, 2, 3, 4. Simple embellishments like these can be the foundations of riffs that hold songs together. So this next example is a case in point. It's just a G chord with a couple of hammer-ons, but you may recognize it as a guitar adaptation of the organ riff from Bob Dylan's Positively 4th Street. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's try that same kind of riff on C. 1, 2, 3, 4. And something similar on A, changing the notes slightly to make this fingering simpler. 1, 2, 3, 4. Next, let's try some embellishments with the flat 7. This example applies the exact same pattern to G, C, D, E, and A chords. It's got a 4-note riff that goes flat 7 to the 5th of the chord, to the flat 7, and back to the root. I'm going to be playing all these with a swing feel, and I'm starting off on the G. I'm going to play the riff in 2 octaves, down low and then up high. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me take that over to a C chord and play the same riff. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to take this over to a D chord and play the same riff. First, I'm going to do it with the open 4th string D as the bass note, and the second time I'm going to use an F sharp as my bass note. Play the same riff on top. 1, 2, 3, 4. That D7 or over F sharp is a great shape to know for bluesy stuff. Now let's play it on the E, again in 2 octaves like we did with the G. So first down low, then up high. 1, 2, 3, 4. finally on the A, and I'm going to do it 2 ways in the lower octave, and then I'm going to play it in the higher octave, and I'll explain in a sec. 1, 2, 3, 4. So those first 2 measures on the A had the exact same notes, but the first time I did it with an open string. The second time I did it over a bar with all fretted notes for that riff. Now here are a couple more cross-picked bluesy patterns on E and B7, and both are using a flat 3 to major 3 hammer-on. Picking across the chord shapes like this really highlights the chord colors that you are adding. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's on the E, and now here's the pattern on the B7. 1, 2, 3, 4. So both with the E, I'm hammering from the minor third to the major third. Same on the B. That's the minor third to the major third. So I got one more example here, which is a 12-bar blues in A. And this is cross-picked throughout. It's got a lot of flat 7s and a few flat 3 to major 3 moves as well. And a bunch of repeating riffs, as in many blues tunes. 1, 2, 3, 4. As all these examples illustrate, just by breaking up strums and playing single notes across chord shapes, you can bring melodic lines out of your accompaniment and really make embellishments pop. So try out this approach in other songs, picking single notes out of whatever chord shapes you're using to create your own patterns. All right, hope you find this useful. Thanks for watching. Once again, for Acoustic Guitar, I'm Jeffrey Pepper Rogers. See you next time.